In ancient times, prophets lived among us and explained the nature of love and how it works in the universe. But it's been a couple of thousand years. We need an update.
Tell us about Tell us about what about community?
Okay. I will speak to you on the nature of hotness. If you're likable, I'm interested in you. If you're attractive, I'm really interested in you. But if you're hot, I'm beyond interested. I'm obsessed. Obsessed about hotness is how I spent my teenage years. But as I became an adult, I turned away from hotness to the finer things in life, like good food, conversation, and art. But in my 40s, I had a mystical revelation. And as a result of it, I returned to the world of hotness with a vengeance. This revelation may have had something to do with the fact that it was in my 40s when I finally had sex with a guy. Now, it would have been nice if my return to the teenage realm of hotness was helped by all of my adult skills. But that was not to be the case. Let's talk about those adult skills which should have helped me. Like the skills of a connoisseur. You know, wine connoisseurs have hundreds of words to describe their area of interest. Here's just 10 of them. Velvety, casky, oaky, prickly, fruity, musty, acidic, restrained, robust, yeasty. I would like to have this range of descriptive power towards men. Well, maybe not yeasty. But I found out we man specialists don't have hundreds of words. We only have 4, and they're not even that good. Let's see. Yeah, twink for young thin guys, bear for big hairy guys, hunk for athletic muscular guys, and otter for thin hairy guys. You know, I could have been velvety, oaky, and robust, but I have to settle for being an otter, and a Jewish one at that? Alrighty then. Wine vocabulary doesn't exactly apply to men. What about wine rating systems? Wine connoisseurs rate wine as 90 to 100, outstanding, superior character, 60 to 80, average, less than 60, poor, undrinkable, and not recommended. Wouldn't it be great if men came with labels? I would like to know if you're outstanding with superior character or poor, undrinkable, and not recommended, without having to taste you. How do men specialists measure quality? Well, for conversational use, we have but one word. H-O-T. You guessed it, hot. As in, that guy is hot. If we're feeling a little bit more sophisticated, we go to the old 1 to 10 scale. You know, the 1 to 10 scale of attractiveness? There's a lot known about that scale. Experts in the field of human sexuality say that whatever one's first rating is of a person's attractiveness, that number can never increase by more than 1 or 2 points, no matter what happens as you get to know them. I find this depressing. I would have preferred a human sexual response system where I could have increased my attractiveness by my wit, my charm, or at least by my manscaping. Oh! But I have to admit, attraction is either there or it's not. Or as we man specialists so eloquently put it, hot is hot. I came face to face with the limitations of these standard man rating systems when I was helping my last boyfriend buy eyeglasses. Perhaps because we had just spent the last 2 hours judging his attractiveness in various eyeglasses, we ended up talking about how we rated for each other on the 1 to 10 out of 10 scale. He was into young, tattooed, bad boy types. I was into hairless Asian guys. We rated about a 7 out of 10 for each other. Normally, I'm a proponent of honest communication, but not when I get a 7 out of 10. It was all wrong. I needed something more nuanced, like the wine connoisseur system. adapted for men, but I don't have sex with wine. I needed the passion of teenage sex drive combined with today's technology. I need geek. Let's geek out. Ten is actually a very small number. Why couldn't a man be rated at 100 or 1,000? Why couldn't a man be rated at 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd? Avogadro's number. You know, the number of atoms and 12 grams of carbon. I do like the idea of being so hot that my attractiveness needs to be expressed in scientific notation. But there's an even geekier number than Avogadro's number. Infinity. You know, if you want to know about 1 to 10, find yourself a romance expert. But if you want to know about infinity, get yourself a geek. You know, it was geeks in the 4th century BC who wrote the Upanishads, the sacred Indian texts. And in those texts, they wrote, if you remove a part from infinity or add a part to infinity, still what remains is infinity. If there were hotness specialists back then, and you can bet your Kama Sutra that there were, they would have been talking about a hotness scale based on infinity, not 10. They would have said that a person is an infinity, but the reason we assign finite numbers to them, like on the scale of attraction, is that the tool we have to see with can only see finite things. We're basically like a scale. When you put an object on a scale, all that can ever pop out is a finite number. So what happens when the infinite realm intersects with a tool that can only see finite things? Let's do the experiment. Let's put the infinitely heavy universe on a scale. As the universe settles down on the scale, the numbers start to go up. An ever-increasing series of finite numbers that increases and increases without ever reaching an endpoint. That is how infinity is seen in the finite realm. So, since a person is an infinity, the longer you look at them, the more attractive they get. Wait a second. When I look more closely at men, I see biceps. You know, maybe those ancient geeks had a different way of checking out guys. I have noticed that the longer I look into someone's eyes, the more emotional I get. Maybe I'm sensing their infinity. Maybe the trick is to look them in the eyes as well as check out their biceps. Biceps. And infinity. Now that's hot. Next time I'm online, I'm gonna rate myself. Otter. Jewish. Infinitely hot.